Now I will present part A of our project, which is the university course redesign using the Universal Design for Learning or UDL framework. The course that is selected is KMK2363, which is Instructional Technology Design and Development. In this presentation, I will explain the current course structure, the barriers faced by students, and how the UDL framework can improve inclusivity and accessibility for all learners. This course focuses on instructional technology and multimedia learning. Students learn how to design instructional materials and educational projects using technology. The course also emphasizes creativity, teamwork, communication skill, and digital literacy. Students are required to complete projects, presentations, and collaborative activities throughout the course. The main objective of this course are to help students understand instructional technology design principles, integrate technology into learning, and improve creativity and problem-solving skills. Students also learn to apply instructional design models and improve communication and collaboration through the group projects and presentations. The course has already have several positive components. First, it uses technology and multimedia tools which make learning more interactive and modern. Second, the course uses project-based learning, where students can apply theory into practical tasks. And finally, collaborative learning activities such as group discussions and teamwork help students improve communication and problem-solving skills. Now for constraints or barriers. Despite the strength of the course, there are still several barriers faced by students. In terms of engagement, long theory-based lectures may reduce focus and motivation. Some students may also feel anxious during presentations, which affect classroom participation and confidence. For representation barriers, the course mainly uses text-heavy slides and difficult instructional design concepts. Some students may struggle to understand the content because there are limited visual demonstration, tutorials, and alternative learning materials to support different learning styles. And last one, in terms of action and expression, assessments mainly focus on reports and presentations. Some students may struggle with writing, public speaking, or managing group tasks and deadlines. Different learning styles and abilities are not fully supported in the current assessment methods. The main goal of the redesign is to create a more inclusive learning environment based on the UDL framework. We want to improve student engagement, provide different ways of presenting information, and allow students to express their learning through flexible assessment methods. Now, for the UDL redesign strategies, to improve engagement, we propose using gamified quizzes, interactive activities, and small group discussions. Flexible participation methods and peer support can also help students feel more comfortable and motivated during class activities. For representations, the redesign includes video tutorials, infographics, simplified notes, and step-by-step demonstration. Audio explanations and captions also can help students better understand the learning materials according to their individual preference. To support action and expressions, students can choose different presentations formats such as videos, posters, or infographics. The redesign also provides clear project timelines, checklists, and collaborative digital tools to help students manage their learning more effectively. The first fictitious student profile is a student with dyslexia. These students may struggle with reading long text and understanding academic terminology. To support this student, the redesign provides simplified notes, visual materials, audio explanation, and flexible assessment options. The second student profile is a student with social anxiety. The student may feel nervous during presentations and avoid classroom participation. To support the student, the redesign includes small group activities, recorded presentation option, and a more supportive learning environment. Through this redesign, we learned that the UDL framework can create a more inclusive and supportive learning environment. It helps students with different abilities participate actively in the learning and improve accessibility, flexibility, and engagement in the higher education.
My name is Sheldon, Genan, Sipok. For part BA, our group focus on the barrier audit under scenario C, which is the social and emotional classroom. The setting is a primary SIC mathematics class about ratios and word problems. The classroom activities mainly involve group work, collaboration, and communication among students. In this scenario, we identify three learning disabilities, which are dyscalculia, social communication disorder, and slow processing speeds. We also analyze the barrier faced by these students during classroom activities and how this challenge may affect their participation, confidence, and learning experience. This slide shows the barrier faced by students with dyscalculia and social communication disorder in the classroom. For students with dyscalculia, large number grid and fast-paced activity may cause confusion, stress, and low confidence during mathematics lessons. Meanwhile, students with social communication disorder may struggle during group work and peer interaction. They may misunderstand communication and experience emotional stress during discussion and teamwork activities. For this part, explain the barrier faced by students with slow processing speeds. This student may require more time to process questions, organize answers, and understand instruction during classroom activities. Time assessment and fast discussion may also create stress and make them feel left behind in class. In summary, our prototype support inclusive learning through visual and interactive methods. The UDL principles used in the prototype can help students with different learning needs participate more confident and comfortably in the classroom.
Hello and good morning. My name is Tala and my metric 1000765. For the part B, I will present our UDL redesign for scenario C, which is the social and emotional classroom. This lesson focuses on the primary six mathematics, especially ratio and the word problems. The redesign was created using the University Design for Learning or UDL framework to support students with dyscalculia, social communication disorder, and slower processing speed. So the learning objective for this lesson are student will understand the concept of ratio. Second, student will solve simple ratio word problems. Third, student will explain ratio answer using the different method. And the last one is student will participate actively during classroom activities. So for the affordant, there are several existing strengths in this lesson. First, the lesson encourage collaborative learning activity through group discussion and teamwork that will promote peer interaction, teamwork, and opportunity for students to learn from one another. Second, the rational problems are connected to real life situations which help students understand the relevance of mathematics in daily life. Third, students are encouraged to participate actively during discussion and problem solving activity. Fourth is problem solving focus that will emphasize solving rational problem step by step that will help students develop logical thinking, reasoning skill, and analytical ability. And the last one is interactive group environment that use collaborative and interactive activity instead of relying on teacher explanation that will improve student engagement and communication. However, the lesson also creates several barriers for students with the learning difficulty, and this student may have the problem with the engagement because the original lesson requires students to participate in fast-paced classroom discussion, time activity, and public problem solving. Students with dyscalculia may experience mathematical anxiety when solving problem quickly. Meanwhile, the student with a social communication disorder may struggle with the teamwork and social interaction during group discussion. And for the student with a slow processing speed may feel stressed and excluded because they need more time to think and respond. For the representation, the lesson heavily relies on text-based worksheet, verbal explanation, and large group of the number. Student with a dyscalculia may confuse number and calculation easily, but for the student with a slow processing and speed may struggle to process long verbal instruction quickly, and for the student with a social communication disorder may misunderstood the verbal instruction or the social expectation during the activity. And the last one is action and expression. Traditional written assessment and the public problem solving activity disadvantage students who require more time, visual support, or alternative way to express their understanding. The goal of the redesign are based on the three UDL principle, which is multiple mean of engagement that will increase student participation, reduce anxiety, and create a supportive classroom environment. Second is multiple mean of representation to present information using different formats such as visual demonstration, multimedia, and step-by-step explanation so students can understand concept more effectively. And the third one is multiple mean of action and expression that will allow students to demonstrate learning using flexible assessment method and different communication styles. For multiple means of engagement, several strategies were introduced. The first one is assign structured group role, such as leader, presenter, and material manager. Second, use positive reinforcement and encourage mistake as part of learning. Third is conduct interactive hands-on activity using counter, flashcard, and ratio games. And for the multiples mean of representation, the lesson used the color-coded number, diagram, and ratio card to explain concept visually. The instruction also provide written and verbal instructions supported by visual icon. And the third one is use multimedia materials such as video and interactive slides without relying only on text-based learning. And for the multiple means of action and expression, students may demonstrate learning through oral explanation, manipulative, visual representation, or written work. And then the guided worksheet with the largest basic and step-by-step instruction are also provided. And the last one is additional processing time is given during classroom activity and assessment to support students who need more time to think and respond. The modified lesson flow begin with the educational video and visual example to introduce the topic that will increase the student interest. Then during the explanation, color-coded note and diagram are used to support different learning style and improve understanding of racial concept. Then student will participate in structured group activity and hands-on practice session using counter and guided worksheet. Finally, student complete flexible assessment and receive positive feedback during the conclusion. To sum up, the redesigned lesson apply QTL principle to support students with dyscalculia, social communication disorder, and slow processing speed. The redesign provide multiple ways for students to access information, participate in activity, and demonstrate understanding. Through the visual support, flexible assessment, structured collaboration, and emotional support, the lesson become more inclusive and engaging and accessible for all learners.
Now is part C, which is inclusion and prototype. There are 4 parts in part C, which is introduction to the prototype, objective of the prototype, support for students, and the last one is UDL principles in the prototype. Our prototype is called the Step-by-Step Ratio Learning Board. It is a low-fidelity learning aid redesign to support students with dyscalculia, social communication disorder, and slow processing speed during mathematics lesson on ratios and word problems. The prototype used UDL principles to create a more inclusive and supportive learning experience. The main objective of this prototype are to help students understand ratio problems step by step, reduce confusion and anxiety, provide visual and structured learning support, and encourage students to participate actively and learn more independently.
Next, I will explain how our prototype supports students with different learning needs. First, for students with dyscalculia, the prototype uses color-coded contour, visual representation, and step-by-step guidance. These features help reduce confusion with the number and make racial concept easier to understand. The structure step also help reduce mathematics anxiety and improve student confidence during problem-solving activity. Second, for students with a social communication disorder, the prototype provide clear visual instruction and structured learning step. This helps students understand classroom expectation more clearly and reduce confusion during activities. Students can also work individually before participating in group discussion, which help reduce emotional stress during social interaction. Lastly, for students with a slow processing speed, the prototype provide guided prompt and step-by-step problem-solving support. Students are able to process one step at a time instead of handling multiple instructions simultaneously. The reduced time pressure help students think more comfortably and participate more confidently during lesson.
This part shows our prototype called the Step-by-Step Ratio Learning Board. The prototype is a low-fidelity interactive learning aid designed to help students understand and solve ratio work in more structured and visual way. Students first read the question card, then identify important number using color counters. After that, they solve the problem step by step and can show the answer by writing, speaking, or using the counters. This prototype supports students with different learning needs, especially students with dyscalculia, social communication disorder, and slow processing speeds. Overall, the prototype applies UDL principles by using visual material, interactive learning activities, and flexible ways students to express their understanding. This slide explains the UDL principle used in our prototype. First, multiple means of representation is applied by using visual cards, counters, colors, and icons to help students understand ratio concept more clearly. Next, multiple means of engagement is used through interactive and hands-on learning activities. This helps increase student participation and motivation during lesson. Lastly, multiple means of action and expression allow students to show their understanding in different ways, such as writing, speaking, or using manipulative. Overall, these UDL principles help create a more inclusive and supportive learning environment for students with different learning needs.